Hi everybody, my name's Alan and we are at the Mayborn Museum today, and I'd like to show you a little bit about our mammoth exhibit. Now we've got an excellent mammoth exhibit here, but if you're at home, you can't see it, so we wanted to send it to you in this video. And we're going to talk to you a little bit about mammoths today. And I've got an excellent woolly mammoth here today, but I need to tell you something right up front. We don't have any woolly mammoths here at the Mayborn. We've got Colombian mammoths, which are different. Here in Texas, we've got Colombian mammoths, which were much less woolly. But woolly mammoth is such a common thing to say that I might even mess up and say it in this video. And if I say woolly mammoth in this video, I want you to comment on this video, the timestamp of when I did it, and I will send you a gift if you're the first one. Now, the woolly mammoth and the Colombian mammoth were both shaped a lot like the elephant, which is still alive today. And they had these long tusks, and they had a nice long trunk. But in our museum, we've got some of the fossils that you can study. Now, this is an excellent cast from a Colombian mammoth, and I want you to see this tooth. This tooth has a great grinding surface, but they only had 4 teeth. They had one on the bottom left, one on the bottom right, and then they had one on the top left and one on the top right. And they were excellent for squishing and grinding things. Now, this one is only a cast, so it's really light and feathery. I think it's made out of styrofoam, but we do have some of the real thing. This is a fragment of a mammoth tooth, and it's much heavier, much more dense, like a rock. It's been mineralized. And I want to show you another modern animal. Now, this is the skull of a beaver, which we have alive today here in Texas, but the teeth of the beaver are very similar to the mammoth. If you can see that texture, it's kind of wavy and ridged. The beaver tooth is the same way on the top and the bottom, and they're excellent for grinding up the little leaves and stems that the beaver want to eat for their dinner. Now, I'll use this beaver skull in a minute when we look at the bone bed that we have here at the museum, and I wanted you to see that as a reference point. Now, mammoths are unique in that we have some of the original material. We actually have preserved fur. Now, this is from a woolly mammoth, and that's not from Texas. This is from the other side of the world, like in Russia and Siberia. But this is real mammoth hair, and so people could collect it and study it. And we have some of those specimens here at the museum. You can hold them in your hand and actually be holding part of a real woolly mammoth, or you can also be holding part of a real Colombian mammoth's bone. Now, I need to tell you something about these bones. This is a real mammoth bone, part of one of their leg bones. And if you look closely, you can see that it's honeycombed full of all these thousands and thousands of little holes. Well, when it was alive, that helped the bones not be too heavy. And there was also blood vessels going through there, so there was blood flow here. But they're also useful for paleontologists. That's people who like to play around with old stuff. The paleontologists can do a lick test to tell if they've seen a rock or a fossil. And the way it goes, if they find something they think might be a fossilized bone, they can take it and lick it. Now, I'm not gonna lick it because I'm just not ready to. But if this was a bone, and it is, those little holes would suck up my spit and make it stick to my tongue. And I would know, hey, that's a bone. I better look at this a little more closely. If it's a rock, it wouldn't stick at all. And I'd probably leave her right there, not toss it aside. So I'm going to set this aside. I would tell you, I don't think you ought to be testing bones in your backyard, though, unless you know for sure that it's something that you ought to be licking. Now, scientists, we're going to pan around to behind the camera person, and we're going to look at our bone bed that we have here at the Mayborn. And if you come right over here, we actually have the skull of a small Colombian mammoth, and I need you to understand the way this thing is positioned. This skull is by itself, and it's upside down. So if I turn that beaver head upside down and you see these top teeth sticking up, that's what we've got right here. And we've got the 2 tusks that are aimed down. But this was a small one, a little, they would say juvenile or baby Colombian mammoth. But some of the mammoths were much, much larger. So actually we're gonna swing around and I'm gonna show you a larger one that's facing a different way. Now, if I kneel down right here, I'm actually on top of the head of a really big mammoth. And his head, or her head, I really couldn't tell you which, has the tusks curved up. So I'm on top of their head, and their teeth are way under these bones. And if you swing over here, you can actually see the jaw. Now this jaw, the bottom jaw, like where your chin is, we would call it a mandible if we were in science class, does have one of the teeth sticking out down here. Now you can only see a small part because most of it's buried, but that bottom jaw is huge. It's probably as big as, I couldn't say, bigger than 2 trash cans in my office. So that's a pretty big thing. It would chew a lot of food. But we have this whole preserved display. Now, in this museum, these are actually casts because we want people to see them, but we also have here in Waco the real Mammoth site. It's a national monument, a national park monument. You can come to that site and see tons of preserved Columbian mammoth bones, and I encourage you, if you ever get a chance, to come out and do that. Now, as we walk back over here into the light, I did want to tell you something strange about mammoth teeth. Mammoths also could lose their teeth, kind of like humans, which is really strange if you think about the tooth fairy having to come and get that out from under your pillow. How big does your pillow have to be to hide that? I'm being a little bit silly, but mammoths could lose their teeth a few times in their life, and I guess that makes sense if they're wearing out from all that eating. Well, anyway, I hope that you have an interest in the mammoths, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you ever get a chance to come visit us here at the Mayborn, please feel free. And if you have any questions about this exhibit or about mammoths, please let us know because we love to visit more with you about it. Anyway, I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you soon.